I kind
So
of remember a phone call, I think, where you the one that called me was like, yo, let me get your case cut. Was that you?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
that was
tell the
me.
story. Tell the story.
There's a lot of GovCon training programs and things out there. I did my research. There's a lot of them are scams. Before I started, I want to make sure he was legitimate.
You went through the mentorship program, you won your contract. Did you? I might want to. Do you want a second one too, or just the first one?
I won the first one.
First
I
one.
think I'm in line to win a second one
Second one coming up.
this week. Yeah.
Tell us about the contract. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's go.
So it's 1.29 million. That's for providing data to housing and urban development, rental data across the United States. It's almost a subscription service for 5 years. My profit is about.
Sam, you went to the 5 day, right? You went to 5 day in the mentorship programs.
No, I went straight to the mentorship program.
Oh, you went. You was pretty sharp. You were a real sharp guy. That's why. I forgot. You really sharp. You went straight to the mentorship. But
No,
Samuel,
wait, if I could say why in particular, Dr.
go
West, I don't
for
know
it.
if you remember everything.
I
So
kind of remember a phone call, I think, where you the one that called me was like, yo, let me get your case cut. Was that you?
yes,
Yeah,
yes,
okay,
that was
tell the
me.
story. Tell the story. Tell the story.
So for everyone, I'm sure you found there's a lot of GovCon training programs and things out there. Uh, I did my research. There's a lot of them are scams. In fact, I even saw someone impersonating Dr. West, and I told him about that too.
Yeah.
So before I started, I want to make sure he was legitimate. You know, he talks about winning government contracts. I said, well, then he's got to have a cage code. Like that's flat out. And then once you have that, you can look at everything else in SAM.gov. So he gave me his cage code. I was surprised, but I said, but it doesn't. Just like calling a sub, doesn't hurt to ask, right? So he gave me his cage code. I checked him out, and I said, well, "Skip the 5 day. I'm going straight into the mentorship program." So thank you again, and you've appeared legit from the first time I saw you till now.
I appreciate that. I appreciate
But
that.
you had questions. I'm sorry. I just wanted to.
No, you're fine, man. I mean, I want you to share whatever you. I mean, whatever you want to share. I mean, I know we're gonna. By the way, I might run a little late today because we're gonna give you guys all the content all the time. But I wanted you to share. You went through the mentorship program. You won your contract. Did you? I might want to. Do you want a second one too, or just the first one?
I won the first one. I think I'm in line to win a second one
Second one coming up.
this week. Yeah.
Let's go. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. So I don't know, man. Tell them about it. Tell them about the mentorship. Tell them. I don't know. Tell them how you like it.
Everything I'm hearing you guys say, that's all things I heard in the mentorship program. And as a piece of general advice, relax, right? This is I understand it's new and it's gonna feel weird, but you're gonna get there. And at some point, it'll just be a flow, right? You'll see a solicitation, you'll go, yes or no. If I'm pursuing this, you know what you're gonna do. And I'd advise that. There's a lot of opportunity out there. If you get a hitch that's gonna slow you down, move on. Just quickly move on. Like Dr. West, I don't fall in love with anything. The only ones I spend real time on are either it's big enough that I care, to really invest a lot of time in. No, I think that's the only ones. It's the only reason I spend more than like a couple hours on, putting together a proposal or getting subs or any of that.
Mhm.
And leverage the internet. There's a lot of things out there where you can say, hey, like especially Angie's List, you can say, hey, this is my job, this is what I need, and they'll come to you. You'll get subs calling you saying, I can do that job, or I'm interested. That's mostly for janitorial, snow removal, that kind of thing. But I think it was Alexander. Someone asked about what gets you excited. What do you lean towards?
Alonzo. That was Alonzo.
Alonzo, thank you.
Yeah.
For me, it's software. I was a programmer, and so I started with all the other stuff, but I said, there's every single category here. Let me focus on something I know, and yeah, it's paid off. I understand software really well, and I won a huge contract during my mentorship program.
Tell us about the contract. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's go.
So it's 1.29 million. um, so let me say it this way. When you're going through this, just understand all the work and sweat you're putting in. When you win, you will forget how hard it was. It
Yeah,
no
yeah.
longer feels like, oh man, the late nights, the staying, waking up early. Like I have a day job, so
Mhm.
I still do. I wake up early, um, do some work, have my regular day, do some work at the end of the day if necessary. Weekends, I line up all my everything I'm going to do that week. So you will discover your process as you churn through this.
Mhm.
You will
Mhm.
say, and I have a decent tracker where I was finding my sticking points. Like I'm going through a flow, and then this point here is where I'm spending too much time.
Mhm.
Right. So if you can understand that and attack those pieces, it improves everything overall.
Mhm.
Um, and that book you referenced, The Slight Edge, Dr. West, that one, I've read that book.
Yeah.
Something I love in that book, they talk about space travel, rockets and things. And they say the shuttle is like off course, something like 90 something percent of the time. And it needs persistent course adjustment.
Yeah.
That's kind of how this is going to work. Like as you churn through these, notice what's wrong. Notice what happens. Why didn't I win this? Why did I take too long on this? And if you track all of it and just make these slight improvements here and there, before you know it, you'll be in a flow and just working.
I love that. I love. Would you say that the mentorship program it's kind of the one adjusting you a little bit as we go? I like to think that
Adjusted you,
way.
adjust you hugely.
Hugely
Even some of the,
appreciate it.
the things you're concerned about, I used to love how Coach Kashina would do it because she wouldn't even necessarily answer right away. What about this? And she would give me this look like, really? You know better. You know this. And then she would say, you tell me what the answer to that is.
You know.
And I would tell her, and she's like, so you already know. So, move.
Exactly. I said that today to someone here in the VIP. It's like a lot of times you guys know the answer, right? You ask the questions like, I just wanted to hear you say it. Like, okay, and I get it. You want that reaffirming. And that's what the mentorship is. It's like it's almost reaffirm. People say all the time, Leslie, what's going to be covered in a mentorship program that's not covered here? It's like we covered everything. Like I promise you guys, I don't hold back any information. I'm giving you everything. But like Samuel said, it's like that course correction. Like, because we do the mentorship calls Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday now. So it's like you may come in on a Wednesday call and be like, hey, I did this, should I do this? Well, what do you think? Yeah, I should do this way. Well, that's the answer. But now you got that reaffirming of like, oh, I should do it that way. And it's someone wants to know more detail about your $1.2 million contract. Was it for? What's your profit? All that stuff.
So that's for providing data to housing and urban development, rental data across the United States.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost a subscription service for 5 years.
Mm.
My profit is about
Let's go. Percent of 1.29 million. I like it. And over the next 5 years.
yes. So essentially, it replaces that one contract replaces my salary in my
Wow.
current job for the next
Yeah.
5 years.
For the next 5 years.
For the
Only for
next
the next
five
five.
years.
But after 5 years, you got to figure out from there. But we'll definitely win you another contract before that time.
I mean,
I can promise you that.
if I get this next one, then that's like the next 10 years.
That's next 10 years. Let's go.
Um,
How many
and
how many proposals did you submit and before you won that first one? I know
I
that.
was
Let's go.
gonna mention that.
Let's do it. Let's
So
do it. Hey, what's up? It's Dr. West here. I hope you are enjoying the content that we got coming at you. Give me 2 seconds. My students have been awarded over $60+ million in government contracts. Y'all, I only been coaching about a year and a half. So listen, if you want to get part of the program, you want to be part of the program, you want to join and find out what we got going on, here's what I got for you. Go to www.thecontractingblueprint.com. We are now opening up spots for phone calls. So what we do is we have a free 45-minute hour phone call with myself and my team members. Now I can't be on every call, so I do have team members that take some of the calls as well. But book a free phone call. We'll answer your questions on government contracting, the Middleman style, and we will tell you about our program and our coaching platform. And you can make a decision if you're a good fit to work with us and we're a good fit to work with you. I look forward to speaking with you guys on the phone, and my team looks forward to speaking with you guys as well. And we'll talk to you soon. Peace.
you all should know that it's about 20 will get you there, somewhere in that 20. right? And I kept that in mind. So as I'm submitting these proposals, right, and some of them were only for a couple $1,000s profit, right, just to get in the flow.
Yep.
Mine was number 19.
Number 19. You won on number 19.
And forget about all the other 18 once you win the one, because that's the one that matters.
That's right.
The other ones were for you to learn.
That's right. That's good, Samuel. That's great. I've been telling people all week, and if you guys haven't heard me say this, I'm saying it again. We typically see a 1 out of 20 win rate. And again, sometimes it'll be 23, sometimes it'll be 25, 28. You know, it's not perfect, but sometimes it's 1 out of 5. I've seen some people submit 5, they win 2, and people are like, oh my God, I got to be doing something so wrong because this person submitted 5 proposals and they won 2. It's like, you're not doing something wrong. It's just that's the way the numbers average out. It's like if you put everyone together the way we do it here and the way we're kind of going at it, it's going to probably be a 1 out of 20 once it's all said and done.
And that's starting from knowing nothing. Like, that's starting from zero. I look at, and you said this in the mentorship program, you look at your first proposals and go, ooh, what was I missed all kinds of things. And yeah. So I look at my first proposals, the first, 10 or so, and I'm going, I know better now that I should have done this. I should have communicated in this way. I don't know if you've mentioned it, but one of the things you said, and calling subs is, I get it, it's a thing, was call as if it was like your own house with that attitude, right? I'm hiring someone to do my lawn. Do I feel nervous about asking someone hey, can I give you money to fulfill this service? No, right?
Right.
So yeah, I'll call, I have a lawn guy, but I will call 10 lawn guys to get the one that I want that I like. And you don't know this. This happened after the mentorship program, but I do have friends in the industry. So I asked some of the ones who work as contracting officers or in those departments, hey, I am doing well. I've won something big and I'm feeling confident, but is there anything I'm thinking about? And one of the things he said was, you can win and lose for reasons that aren't necessarily you. He was saying, if you actually see the evaluation criteria, it's almost like getting a stack of resumes, right? You're going through them, you're looking for certain points, but in the end, it's still just a grind, and you can get missed. So asking for those debriefs, that's that slight edge course correction. Where was I off? What made you pick this person over me? Because all of those are like, that's the sauce to get is, what did I do wrong? Help me do better.
That's good.
I've actually asked people who do work in the house, around my house. I'm like, hey, have I been a good customer? Does this arrangement work for you? Because I might call someone it's snowing now, and I might call someone this afternoon, it's my guy, and say, hey, could you, shovel the driveway and the the driveway and the walkway for my kids and my wife, and he'll show up and do it. And he knows I'll pay him whenever he says, hey, I did this, and that might be a month. So that might be a net 30 kind of situation.
Right. Well, net 30, right. Yeah.
But if you have that relationship, I've heard someone say, oh, how do I ask for a net 30? You just ask.
You just ask.
If it was your lawn and you asked the lawn guy to be there and said, hey, can I pay you in a week after you do the lawn? He'd say, sure. If he trusts you, of course. Right. So same deal. Yeah, same deal. Hey, net 30. The contract I'm pursuing now, my phone was just ringing because I asked for something today, and he's going to give it to me today. But we have that relationship where I can pick up my phone and say, I shouldn't use his name. Hey, I need this thing. The contracting officer has asked for this extra piece, because we're now in the final 4 proposals to be evaluated, and they're looking for discriminators.
How big is this one going to be if you get it?
2.1.
2.1 mil?
Yes.
Let's go. My man out here doing it. I love it.
Thank you, Dr. West, for getting me here.
Hey, no problem, man. I remember the call very well. I was actually in Chicago. I was with my wife traveling, and I got a call from my team member. They were like, yeah, this Samuel guy, he wants to get in. He said he's gonna get in right now. He just want to get your case, go and talk to you. I was like, all right, give my number. Or I think I might have called you. I was like,
yeah.
Hey, who is you? Samuel. So you want to get in? You just want my case code? Yeah. all right, here's my case go. Like, okay. And then like you got like you join like the like I don't know, like 20 minutes later. And I was like, all right, it's gonna go.
Well, you said like, hey, this is my home address attached to the case,
Yeah.
so like
Yeah.
protect the privacy, and I did. I
Right.
actually forgot what it was. But yeah, you're legit all the way, I have to
I
say.
appreciate
So
that. Yeah,
I
I appreciate
appreciate
that.
you, sir.
And that's just so you guys know, that's why I don't like, that's why it's redacted here and I don't like publicly disclose it, because like as you guys all know, we use our home address, so like I don't put my case go online, so you see my home address. So yeah.
And just something that hit me that I didn't hear mentioned before.
Yeah.
Our initial call was with Mara Ah. I don't know if you remember that.
I remember. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so she won something before I did.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I actually went for the same contract she won.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when you're calling subs and you get, oh, we've already given quotes or whatever, don't worry about it. You gave them a quote. I'm going to put in my quote, my proposal, and we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I love it, Samuel.
I saw in the chat someone said, and by the way, thank you everyone who's congratulating me. I appreciate that. I do. When did you start? This is from July until November. My win was in December. So we're talking 6 months, 5-6 months.
Yeah, 5-6 months. Yeah, 5 or 6 months. And the thing is, and here's the funny thing is, I'm gonna say this last thing, and I know we got to get to the training. It's like 5 or 6 months, you submitted 19 proposals. Now, again, I do always teach, you want to shoot for 20 in a month so you can win sooner. So what if you would have submitted those 20 in the first month, you could have won sooner? Who cares? But it doesn't matter. I'm sure like for 1.2 million, you ain't really worried about it now. Like it don't really matter no more, right? But it's like, it's that constant grind of doing. That's why you guys, if you guys don't know, our mentorship program is a 6-month program. I'm gonna talk about details today after our class, and we'll if anyone's interested in the mentorship program, again, if you're not interested, no big deal, you don't got to come. We're gonna do a bonus training here after class for those interested in the mentorship program, and we'll talk about the details. But it is a 6-month program.
It does help. Yeah, I was gonna say, it's I can't even say it's worth it, right? Because the money compared to what I've won is in the noise, right? I'm gonna spend more on paying my sub for travel than the mentorship program was.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I know it felt like a lot of money at the time, but I have to say it doesn't feel like anything now.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And this is something I didn't mention. So I did join like SCORE. I did look into some of those government-sponsored programs, and I got mentors.
Yeah, PTAC, SCORE, all that. Yeah.
Yeah, and I went back to one of them after my win because we'd spoken early on. I told him, "Hey, does this middleman thing really work?" I just didn't say it that way, but I described what the process I was going to follow, and he said, "Yeah." He says that'll work, but it's a grind. He said, you got to put in the proposals. You just got to grind through it, but you will be successful doing that. Mm-hmm. So when I called him in December and said, hey, I want a contract. And like you said, the work starts. So give me any gotchas, and he gave me some advice, but he went, wow, that was fast.
And then 5 months, that's pretty fast.
And then he said, describe how you won. I said, oh, well, I put in 18 proposals that lost and whatever. And he said, during his first conversation, he's like, you did the grind. That's, all things equal, that's why you won, is you did the grind. You learned as you went and you kept pushing. Samuel, are the contracts similar with current work? Yes and no. They're in the same genre of software. So like Alonzo asked, is there something you lean into? For me, it appears to be software.
Right. That's good. But you never know. You still might win a dry cleaning one for $4 million. Like, well, I guess now I'm a dry cleaner now. Like, well, that's the good thing about middleman strategy.
Well, I have a friend who's project manager in construction who just got free, right? Like his contract was just released. And I said, hey, listen, I don't do construction. I don't know a lot about construction, but do you want to come on and be my advisor for construction contracts?
There you go.
And he was all in. He goes, I already call subs for regular jobs that we do here. So he even went so far as, I'll call your subs, I'll put together the whole price proposal, and then you can do the other piece and, throw me a cut of it. He's working right now, and I'm not involved at all. So you'll find as you go, you'll develop your own systems, your own teams. But the mentorship program is that seed that grows into the oak you want.
awesome.
Do you want to know how to make 6 and 7 figures a year in government contracting? Do you want to know how to actually do the middleman strategy and work with me and my team of coaches? If you do, all you got to do is book a phone call with us. You can book a phone call at www.thecontractingblueprint.com. It should be on the screen somewhere, maybe above me. www.thecontractingblueprint.com is also linked below. So what we'll do is we'll do a free 45-minute to hour phone call. I take some of the phone calls as I can. My team members take the phone calls. And what we'll do is we'll make sure you understand the middleman strategy, and it will tell you about our services. If we're a good fit for you, if you're a good fit for us, we hope so. If we are, then we'll help you guys win your first contract as well. So if you're interested, book a free phone call at the link above or below, and I'll see you guys there. All right, peace.